Shay here.
That's right. We are the deep shift ladies. We are in the deep shift, if you hadn't noticed. And it is a pleasure to be here with you again. We will continue this conversation for as long as it is required. And it is a deep conversation.
Yes, and every week it just gets deeper and deeper, but we love the deep shift. So
Wonderful. So we are in the deep shift, as we mentioned in our first episode. This episode, we're going to talk more about how our level of self-healing is being activated. And because of that, we have actually, on our planet, we have so many different ways to heal, to self-heal. There is not just the medical industry. Just want to make sure that everybody understands that. Right, Shay? Because some people,
absolutely.
I've got to call my doctor because he's wearing a white jacket and he knows everything. And that is really not the smartest move. Because no, I'm not to down doctors. This is not about, downing the medical industry. It's about a certain mentality that's been not only nurtured on television, movies, et cetera, it has not really allowed for other possibilities, because the big money is what's controlling such a huge part of how people heal in the world. But we're stepping into the deep shift, ladies and gentlemen, right, Shay?
Absolutely.
More. What do you
Yeah. And so what I want to say about that is that before we even had the American Medical Association, we had our grandmothers who would make salves and put that on us to heal, or they had some concoction. And everybody that I meet or talk to, I always hear about some remedy that they use in their family. And honestly, we've given so much power to the medical industry that we don't even look within ourselves anymore and try to figure it out. I know recently I just bought some herbal books on trying to be my own, medicine woman, to try to figure that out so that I'm not having to. I haven't taken pharmaceutical drugs since about 2013. So I've always been trying to figure out how to do that myself. Oh, I lied, because I did have hot flashes for a long time, for a year or so, and I couldn't handle it. And I tried everything, and finally I had to, but I only did it for a very short time until I could really kind of work with that. But yes, and I think it's important.
Yeah, which is not to, down the medical industry, because there's a lot of really wonderful things that have come from, I would say, source, come from the light, come from, inspiration, that a lot of doctors and inventors have come up with great technology in the medical industry. We're not downing that at all. We're just getting back to, where does it all start? Where does it come from? Right.
Yeah. And to go within more and look and trust ourselves, instead of every time that you have, a sniffle, that you run to the doctor,
Right.
I would just recommend to people to look at other ways and things to look at, rather than go and get your antihistamines and your, because really we need to let the natural body flow. And what's happening when we get sick is our immune system is kicking in, and it's actually releasing toxins in our bodies or letting things out. And so our natural immune system will kick in and take over and heal. But we run to the medicine just so that, because that's what we've been taught. And we think that that's what we need to do, when there's really reasons why our body is going through what it goes through. So,
right. Exactly. I mean, there are so many stories of people who have been diagnosed with a disease, let's say. I'm not saying that this is true for everybody, so don't just ignore your diagnoses. But I do want to get back to the miracles that happen every day, the miracles that happen in self-healing. And what if that is our true nature? What if our true nature has been stifled to advance an industry that is a multi-trillion-dollar industry? What if there's so much more that we can be as human beings that we're not being, because we're depending on taking a certain drug every week for the rest of our lives. Yeah, it just gets kind of like, wait a minute, isn't there something about that? What is that? You know, which isn't to say it's wrong. I want to keep coming back to that. There are people who, you know, who have created whatever they've created, and they need to take that drug. But let's get back to the miracle. I remember this story. Deepak Chopra told the story, and it was about this man who had been diagnosed with some disease, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, please come back, sir, tomorrow. We need to take more tests. It's about 15 years ago. And so the man said, yeah, sure, I'll be back. He came back to the doctor about 10 years later, and that doctor who had diagnosed him died. And they had another doctor there, and the doctor did the same series of tests. And he said, sir, you really do have a disease. We really need to take care of this. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll be back tomorrow. He never went back. He came back again 5 years just for a regular checkup. And lo and behold, there's Deepak Chopra. And so he tells him this story. Deepak Chopra sees the results and says, well, you know what, sir? Oh, I forgot to tell you, the second doctor died too. So Deepak Chopra was like, yeah, sir, you seem to be doing just fine with whatever it is that's going on in your body. And how do you feel? So no, I feel great. I felt great 15 years ago, feel great today. So there you have it. You know, I'm not saying to do this, but this is the interesting miracle of life and how we live with our bodies and how we interact with our souls, because all of it is connected. It's not just the body, you know?
Yeah. And I want to point out, like, just something on my own self-healing, because when I kind of first met you, I was having problems with my legs, and I've been having problems with my legs since it's like a toothache in my legs for years. And I'd gone to all the doctors, done all the tests, did everything that they suggested. And then when I met you, and, you know, we'd known each other a couple of years, but you have this frequency machine. And I remember you telling me, you know, that this is the healing of the future, this frequency. And so every time you would come to an event with our community, you'd put it on me, and I'd run around and do everything. And I didn't really realize it, but my pain in my legs would go away. And then finally one day it dawned on me, I think when she does that, that the pain really does go away. So we went to your house for dinner one night, and you put the frequency machine on me the whole time I was there. And then I had no pain when I got home. So I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. So I had to buy one of those, because I know this is a frequency, is the healing of the future. And yes. Then recently, because the frequency just helped the pain subside for a period of time. So it didn't heal it, but it really took the pain to a lower level, a manageable level. And then recently I was working with Antonio Sangio, and he was working on some of my emotions, and he asked me what I wanted to work on. And I really wanted to work on the anger.
Wait a minute. Antonio Sangio is a hypnosis expert, right?
Yes, he teaches introspective hypnosis.
Super.
So he was doing a session with me and a class that I took from him. And he asked me what I wanted to work on. And now my husband passed away, so I wanted to work on some anger and resentment that I was carrying. But when he got in there, and he's such an amazing hypnotherapist, he took me back to where the origination point of that anger and resentment. And I was about 18 months old, and I had worn corrective shoes, and it has the metal bar between. And I had told this story many, many times throughout my whole life, because I remember this day, my parents put those on me. The babysitter came over. I remember them telling the babysitter, do not let her take those off. I was so angry, and I remember screaming, and I was just voicing my anger. But I had never, all the other times I told that story, I never felt the emotion of it. So when he was doing my work, I felt the emotion of that time in my life, and I just started letting it out, what I needed to say when I was 18 months old, and I couldn't express myself. I just started yelling, and I'm like, what the heck? You know, I hate you. I mean, I just let out all that emotion that had been trapped forever. And do you know, I have no more leg pain. It was incredible. Yeah, it's amazing the work that we could do. And then one more story really quick, because I had a client a couple of weeks ago who came in who had some shoulder pain. And we were working with the shoulder pain, And then we were able to release some energy that was trapped in her shoulder. And the next day she called me or texted me and she says, oh, like, OMG, it's like my shoulder pain is completely gone. And I have no more pain there. And I'm in awe of everything. I keep checking my shoulder to make sure that it's true. She says, but not only that, it restructured my breast. Now, I didn't know there was anything wrong with her breast, but she says, I am just in awe of what happened. So
Wow.
it's pretty incredible what we have the ability to do, because all healing is self-healing. So
Yes.
do you have stories or something that you want to share?
Yeah, I actually have a story that you can even find the videos on YouTube. I charted my entire experience of cleansing my body, because I did a lot of research around how much our bodies are inundated with poisons from food, from pollution, from, I mean, everybody knows this, right? From the medications you take. So, you have to recognize that the body needs to be cleansed. So I didn't know this until I got gallstones. Now, I was on the road, I was traveling, I was, singing. I'm a professional singer, other than all of the other stuff that I do. And while I was on the road, I got really sick. And I got scared. I had to be taken to the hospital. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. It took me like 1.5 years to even figure out what was wrong. And when I did research on the gallbladder and how to remove gallstones naturally, it was a long process. I had to change my diet. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, what you put into your body is reflective of what's going on with your body. So how do you take care of yourselves? What are you feeding yourself? Now, which doesn't mean you can't eat junk food, because you can. You can eat junk food every once in a while, but you can't eat it every day. Every day will eventually make you sick. It is just the truth. I'm not, this is not a conspiracy theory, okay? With that, this is literally the truth. It has been proven. So anyway, I learned about the gallbladder. It's the gallbladder and liver flush. Okay, now it is a process. You have to have at least three days to a week of eating only vegetables and fruit. You can have that in soups. You can have that in, can steam it, whatever. Do your best to be as vegetarian as you can for that amount of time. And then you take this, you take half a cup of, you start with Epsom salt, because then you want to smooth the interior of your body just as much as Epsom salt relaxes the physical body. That's why people take baths in it. You take it as a mild laxative, and it literally smooths the inside of your body, so that when you get to this oil concoction, which literally squeezes your liver and squeezes your gallbladder to remove all of the impurities from your liver and your gallbladder, it's disgusting. It's not delicious. It really is not. But you know what? It is. I had no operation. I did not have my gallbladder removed, which is an important part of the body, and I knew that. And so I drank this half a cup of olive oil with about a cup of grapefruit juice. It's like drinking salad dressing. You chug that, you lay on your side, and I usually chase it with a lemon juice to get this oil out of my mouth, and you rest. And you do that, you have some more Epsom salt about 6 or 7 hours later, and your body, of course, is releasing. It's releasing. It's, sometimes it's more intense than others. But I do this about every 4 months, maybe, depending on how I feel. And this, I did it once a month for 4 months. On the 5th month, my body did it naturally. I didn't have to take it. It knew that I was still releasing these tiny gallstones. There were a lot of them out of my gallbladder. And I finally felt better too. I didn't have that. It's not a pleasant feeling when you have gallstones. It can be extremely uncomfortable. However, if you take the time, I needed that time to focus, to tune in, to discover, okay, am I really happy doing what I'm doing right now? Is this really what I want to do? Because a lot of times you'll get sick because you're not doing the changes that you should be doing. You're not acknowledging something that happened to you that you haven't worked through yet, right? So there was a lot going on in my life at that time. My partnership was ending. It was time for me to consider getting off the road, there's a lot of things going on that I really wasn't really willing to look at. And I can look at other times in my life, I'm sure you can too, Shay, where there were things going on that you were just not wanting to deal with. And that kind of contractive energy builds up in your world. It builds up in your physical body. It builds up in your ethereal body, your auric body. It just builds up, and until something has to happen. And if you don't make the decision, your body will make it for you.
Yes, and I have a book that I use called Metaphysical Anatomy. And so a lot of times when my clients come to see me, we look at that book. Like if somebody's having migraines, what is the body trying to tell you? What is it? Something's going on that's trying to tell you. Like a lot of times my husband got lung cancer. Well, cancer is typically associated with anger. So somewhere you're holding on to anger. So every illness in your body is trying to tell you something. And I think that's great. And so whenever we can do things to help heal ourselves, then we're just one step closer to living into the 5D and living a longer life. And I know that I have singing bowls, and I know you have them too. In fact, that's the first place I ever met you, was at a singing bowl that you were doing. And will you want to tell us a little bit about the other healing modalities that you have and what you do with frequency and music to help people?
Right. Well, other than being a singer, I discovered, thank you, Shay, in our session together, that I really am music, that music is who I resonate as. And so I started to delve more into, okay, well, let's talk about sound. Let's talk about vibration. Let's talk about frequency, which is what, that's like the big meme about Tesla, and how Tesla talks about, the what is it? The true medicine of the future will be through energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's what music is, right? It's energy, vibration, and frequency. And then you have things like the Rife machine, and you have the Healy, which is what Shay was talking about earlier. There are other inventions that have been literally stunted because the powers that be, let's call them that, are making too much money on a system that has been created to continue their power, and control over you. So these patents that have been, like, thousands of patents that have been pushed to the side. This is not conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is the truth. They are finally starting to come forward. They're coming forward because so much light is coming onto this planet that the dark cannot continue to control. The light is taking control. All right. So these patents are finally moving through. Things are moving forward. Okay. So there are going to be tools that we'll be able to use that'll be so helpful for all of us, including everything that we already have, our connection to all of the different herbs and plants that source has given us, the universe has given us, whatever you want to call that lovely energy that makes the grass grow. I mean, we've got hypnosis that delves into the psyche a little more deeply. You've got so many different techniques. I do sound healing with tuning forks and crystal bowls that sing. And then I channel singing as well. And that, in fact, we're going to be channeling some singing here for all of you at the end of this session to hopefully help you to self-heal. So we'll ask the channels to bring in self-healing sounds so that whatever you're going through, you can just listen to these sounds, and it will bring you the light codes that will assist in your self-healing. So yeah, I use crystal bowls, tuning forks, metal bowls, and my voice, and then I also sing, and even just singing. It's something I've done since I was a kid, and that's part of my ability to heal, whether people are conscious of it or not.
Yeah, I love the fact that we met each other too, because I actually took some singing lessons from Karen to help open up my throat chakra, which I think is a really great thing for anybody to do, to start working with your energy in the music. I am not musically inclined at all. And I want to share really quick a story. I had a client in my chair one day, and all of a sudden she's laying there and she's like, there's someone here who wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, who's here? And she goes, your husband is here. And I go, well, can I talk to him? And she said, yeah. So I had the most beautiful conversation with my husband. But the one thing he told me, he says, Shay, you need to work on your healing. You need to heal from my illness, from our relationship, and from your childhood. And the way you can do that is by music. You need to start listening to music because you have cut music out of your life because you don't want to feel. And so that's when I called Karen to see, if I could start, opening up the throat chakra, get more into the music, because I know music is so, so powerful. So I'm really looking forward to the music that Karen's going to give us, the light language that we're going to get this evening at the end of this podcast tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Shay she says she's not musical. I think everybody's musical. I just think it's vibration of music. Maybe in this lifetime you're not the big, color to a soprano, but you are aware of those sounds. And when a song does move through you, you feel it. Everybody does.
Absolutely.
Everybody does. So you just have to acknowledge that magic when it shows up. Because if the song is returning in your head, like for example, the other day I wrote a brand new song for my partner, and this song it gave birth very easily. And when something comes through that easily, it's supposed to come into this space, right? And when you are just walking along and a song pops into your head, pay attention, because there's something about that song that your body's requesting, that your soul is requesting, that your mind is requesting. And music is the biggest bridge that will connect us, no matter what your difference is, no matter where you have created division. The division will disappear with music. And that is something we all have to remember. We may not agree on many issues. We may not be, I might not be a Republican, I might not be a Democrat, but when we come together and we hear a song, hallelujah.
Yes. And one of the things that
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I want to say this too, in our true essence, because we're just having a human experience. We are spiritual beings, but in our true essence, we are light, sound, and frequency. And
Yes.
That's who we are. And that's how we recognize each other out there in the universe and the cosmos when we're floating out, by our color and our frequency, the sound that we emanate. So it's beautiful when you really start digging into truly who we are.
Yes, yes, yes. So, when you feel that when you're not feeling well and you want to moan. When you're so happy and you want to scream. All of these sounds that we naturally make, sometimes we contain ourselves because we live in a society where, you're not supposed to express that. You're not supposed to vocally do that. But do it. Because it does wonders for your body. It really does. It really, really does. So on that note, obviously, there's so much more to talk about self-healing. I'm sure we'll come back to it because we have so many modalities. There's the Ayurvedic modality, there's acupuncture, there's massage, there's Reiki, there's water, there's even urine therapy, which kind of grosses me out, but, power to those who have discovered the wonders of it and it works for them. Wonderful. Because I am not here to judge you. We are not here to judge you. We are here to ask questions and to live and live in a better world, create communities where we can work together and live in harmony. I mean, isn't that the utopic world we've all been asking for?
Right? Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So let's get closer to that, right?
Great. And you're going to take us tonight into that place of utopia. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you to the voices that are going to bring you some self-healing light codes. Light language, as we said in the last episode, is it's language from the light. So it comes from all different parts of the universe. I've been told, look, whether you believe that or not, it's fine. Enjoy the sounds. Let them wash over you. Let them heal. Let them give you that inspiration. Let them activate the healing within you, and get out of the way. That's all I can say. All right. It won't be very long. They're usually not very long. So we're going to end with that. Is that good, Shay?
That's perfect.
Come back in afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right, super. Okay. Let me get in that space. Okay. All right. Yana hito ka yamamai e hela nai apa ka nai tu amaya heta 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 itu ka me alala katanai chi hesite kua papatana hala tak 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 iski kwa 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 kanikata natana henatana ne ho alanai halaku kanai tala ha chikene atai he chikanai tu hanakanai tekela hesmu atakanata liti halana u amaka entie shikea matakinitua la 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 ne ne ye le la 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 ye le ne le ha ha hisku naia, hisku ania, heleni kuapa, hanta lama kue titipia, shikite aitu, retina, retatae, roto, hahana pie, helala, amaie. Hete ke momo ye malaye le hate ke tu ana ye hate ke tine ne o mana ye hate ke tona ye le na ye ala tu ko tu atakana iti ana ye ni anaye le la la ye alai enene kalala kai alanana ye hi elenana ye elenana ye kai elenana kai Chikokoana kaska lemitka ne last havava sile nem halegeneni yamankoanan sitkatama askana na etataena yenini
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I know today we met earlier today, and I needed some healing, and you did that for me today too. So thank you. Thank you for earlier today.
My pleasure. Thank you for all that you do. Shay has created this beautiful vision that you're seeing in front of you, and there's so much light in it. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or if you perceive it, but she's so gifted and so grateful to commune with you and create this amazing opportunity to share with the world.
Yeah, and we thank all of you for taking the time out to listen to us as we talk about the deep shift.
Yes, you can get more of our information below. Shay's got it down. Everything is listed there to get in contact with us. If you'd like to know more about us, we will be shifting into something greater and something more personal for those of you who want to participate with us on a more regular basis and more frequently. as well for questions that you may have. So if you do have questions, please put them in the list and subscribe.
Beautiful. Well,
All right.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Nice to all.
everybody.
Okay,
Love
good
you.
night.
Be good.
Bye.
Bye.